Hey everyone, Joe and Emily here. Like and subscribe now because we got some talking to do. Special Streamin Demons about Ozzy Osbourne. That's right, if you were in a cave somewhere and you forgot that Ozzy died, well, here we are to remind you. All this and more right now. So, we usually talk about movies and TV shows. And I talked to you about Ozzy when he died because I grew up with his music. And you were like, music? He did music? I was like, son of a gun. Son of a gun.
Kind of,
Yeah.
because for you as an American and a Gen X, you know Ozzy Osbourne as a rock star. And for me, it's different because I'm French and I'm a millennials. I had MTV. And what happened in MTV? The Osbourne family, which is TV reality show.
Right.
And it was so great. So yeah.
Yeah, you grew up with the Osbournes, and my generation also watched the Osbournes. We did, but we made it a drinking game. Every time Ozzy swore and you heard, we took a shot. And Ozzy swore like a professional on that show. So most of us couldn't make it past the first credit roll. It was
Yeah,
a fun game, though.
it doesn't stop because the fun thing is he had a lot of dogs, like 13
Oh, yeah.
dogs, 13,
And
14
they're
dogs,
always,
and every time he's like, fuck off, beep, fuck off, beep, I like my burrito, beep, and he was like, fuck off. It
yeah.
just does that. It's really funny.
No, and that's true. I forgot all about the dogs like crapping on the carpet and doing things inside and then running away, whatever it's going to be. It was weird seeing Ozzy because you go from watching him in Black Sabbath, you go from watching him solo with Randy Rhoads and Zach Wild and stuff like that, and then you see the actual man behind the persona, like the doting father where he's a family
Yes.
man 1,000%. He's just trying to be there. He just happens to have a day job that's rock and roll.
It's really funny because we know he's a rock star, he's
Yeah.
super rich, and on MTV they were like, "Yeah, his best friend is Marilyn Manson," and during a celebration they were a midget in the oven and da 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 and da da da. So we thought it was going to be sex, drugs, and rock and roll because MTV was starting to be
Yeah.
trash in the 2000s.
A little
And
bit.
no, you see this loving father who really like his kid, who has a wife we love terribly. His two teenage kids who are like 15, 16 years old, a boy and a girl. The boy really like McDonald's. The girl, she's always like yelling, crying, not happy, etc. Have purple hair, blue hair, and everything. They look
Kelly.
like Mr. Mrs. Everybody, the
Yeah.
neighbor next door. And that's really interesting you say because it's not glamorous because you think, oh, that guy must be a billionaire and have a lot of lavish lifestyle. No, he likes to drink his coffee in the morning, just like my dad. When his kid doesn't wake up, he's like, hey, choop choop, time for school. You go to school. No, no, no. If in 5 minutes you're not out, I'm going to
Yeah.
kick your ass. You see what I mean? Or when there is a problem between the brother and the sister, the dad always comes like, hey, calm down. What happened? What's going on? Did you ask nicely? No, but whenever did you ask her in priority? And da 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 da. Like, it's really interesting because it's Mr. and Mrs. Everybody, and they're
It really.
super rich.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. There's actually the third child who didn't want to be on
Hmm.
the show at all, and so it was kind of cool. Like they noped out. And I remember one of the first videos, not the first music videos, but one of the first videos, like documentaries on Ozzy Osbourne, was through Suicide Solution Case, where he had a song Suicide Solution about alcoholism, and the misheard lyric was I tell you to end your life. No, it was like enjoy life, not end your life. But that was the misheard lyric in the court case. And these kids killed themselves, and they happened to have an Ozzy record. They happened to have an Ozzy Osbourne record, so Ozzy Osbourne gets sued for someone's suicide. This is back when that happened a little bit more. So it's like when people shot up a school and they blame Marilyn Manson, and it's like you can't blame someone for other people's actions, especially if it's music, and
Yes.
especially if no one's really saying please pick up a gun and shoot for school. And no one said that.
Hmm.
No one said please kill yourself. In fact, it's actually something else. I'm paranoid. You know, the whole different thing, a whole different misheard lyric. And so that was my first theatrical or streaming or TV show really for Ozzy Osbourne was that court case where kids were killing themselves.
I never heard about it.
Really, you
I
might be too
never
young for that.
heard about it. Never. No.
Yeah, I
I don't.
remember.
So for France, I spoke to my mom, who is a huge metal, dark rock
No, no,
fan. Oh,
sorry.
shut up!
You
Oh,
can say Kiss.
silence,
Your
silence.
mom thinks Kiss is
Van
hardcore.
Halen, AC/DC, Kiss, Metallica. You know, she
Okay,
know Black Sabbath. We all know Black Sabbath,
right?
but that's all. We
Really?
don't know him as an individual. We see him on TV because of the Osbourne family. He became really famous, so it was like still bankable, right? But no, no,
I
no, no.
think that might be a anomaly because I'm pretty sure Ozzy by himself is pretty global. Like Ozfest went everywhere. Ozzy
Y-
toured solo longer than he ever toured with Black Sabbath.
No, but he's not as famous as he is in America. Everybody knows him in America. Everybody knows him in UK. Everybody knows his wife in UK. Like she go to a lot of talk shows, etc. In France, you need to be, how can I say it, very niche. You know, you need to know metal song. You know, like Black Sabbath is very famous with God people who are gothic in France.
Yeah, the Visigoths and the Goths. Well, that's for Black Sabbath, but your mom didn't follow the career after Black Sabbath. It's like, oh, nothing happened after like 80 something or whenever he
Yeah,
broke up.
yeah, no, 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 no. Like to give you a
Wizard of Oz,
comparison,
Randy Rose.
the Rolling Stone, for example, everybody know Mick Jagger or Keith Richards. We know these people. Or
Yeah,
for example, ACDC, we know ACDC. But if we take the singer apart or the guitarist apart, you know,
interesting.
there's
It might
yeah.
be a different culture for pulp, not pulp, pop sensations or whatever is going to be for celebrity culture there. So
Mhm.
when we're doing this, you didn't even know that he had a history of stuff. I mean, the entire being, I believe, kicked out and banned from the Alamo because he urinated on it. Stuff that you can't do here. And the absolute nightmare of his early drug and alcoholic life, where he once was mistaken for his own roadie because he was just so bloated with drinking. They actually thought he was like one of the roadies instead of actually Ozzy Osbourne. And that was his first wake up call. Like maybe he needs to get, you know, we all struggle with things, right? So you only saw him as like the doting father and not the Prince of Darkness that was biting heads off of a dove during a record signing and bit a head off a bat in the concert because he thought it was a fake one. The dove part he knew was real, apparently. It just was really high. Thought it was a good idea at the time. So you didn't see any of that stuff.
No,
My
no,
God.
no, no.
That's
I
amazing.
didn't know. I didn't know about that, which is really interesting. But during the show, you hear about the consequences. Like, for example, there is a scene where his daughter and son confronts him and say, "Do you know how hard it is to go to school and be the son and daughter of the crazy guy who ate a bat?" Like
Yeah.
we've been bullying but about that. Also, they try to make friends and stuff, and he is this mega guy who is gothic, etc. And yeah, you hear about it like that guy. He's very important. He's rich. He's a rock star. Da 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 da. You know that other rock star. But it was sold out to us because oh, Marilyn Manson found him really cool, or he's a grandpa from rock, you know, or he's a beginning of metal, something like that. You know,
Yeah.
like they're a crazy family, and when you go to watch it, it's really lovely. It's really lovely. I like the inside of their home, and
Right.
you
Was
can
that
see the
dubbed?
backstage.
Was that dubbed in French? Like, did they use their real voices or was it dubbed into French?
Alors, there were two kind of episodes. There were one episode who could be on very very late at night, so it would be just subtitle, and
Right.
I had the very badly translated. So you would hear them speak in English, but there is a voiceover.
Oh God. See, that's even
Oh mon
better.
Dieu. Try to speak English, simple sentences.
Okay, I'll speak English like Ozzy would. You ready? See if I can still do this. There, translate that one.
D'accord. Donc, for that, you will have the beep, 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 and the song. But
Yeah,
sometimes you would have, for example, instead of a fucking idiot or fuck off, we would have dégage, which is not a bad word, but still. And
bagage.
for
Isn't that one
dégage,
a piece of bread? A bagage?
dégage, dégage, dégage means go away, but very
Bagage.
badly. Fuck
I'm
off,
gonna start
basically.
using this in Quebec
Dégage.
now. Amelie is teaching me all the good words to use in French now. So dégage, yes. Go on.
Hmm. For example, instead of us, it would be like that idiot of dog, cet idiot chien ou ce genre de
Mr.
choses.
Chung, yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah, one of the first words, okay, when I started to live in Quebec, I was asking someone, please teach me the words I need to know.
mhm,
One of the first things I translated, A, was the Blues Brothers scene about how much for the women, I want to buy your women, your wife, your woman, that one. And the second one was from just Ozzy Osbourne songs. I was getting translating into French so I could have something of a basic in my mind because I knew Ozzy
mhm,
really well. Like, okay, this is what the words mean. And then I was like, well, how about swear words? And like,
mhm.
what does bitch mean? Like Shen. I'm like, no, that's not it. That can't be
Salope
Shen. Was
would be
that
salope.
Salop?
S
Yeah, right?
Mhm,
Yeah, but they're like, they didn't want to say, I'm like, well, I know you're lying because now you're saying female dog.
mhm.
And that's not the same connotation. I need the actual of it all. So Ozzy was my gateway drug into learning more French because I wanted to remember words I was learning. So you have that, and yeah, the poorly translated stuff. I was really wondering like how well he translates throughout. I guess not apparently too well for the Osbournes. Did you ever watch the ones in the History Channel where him and Jack go around to different museums and different historical places? Brilliant.
No.
Oh, yeah, I think you'll like it. If you like history at all, I think that's a brilliant one where Jack and Ozzy tour the world and they just kind of go on like an RV trip across the United States and they start doing other locations later on. But he was a big history buff, and it's really fun to see him just doodling away in a sketchbook as Jack's trying to drive and just being a normal dad. Like honestly, like you're saying, like the Osbournes kind of made you think like, oh, he's just a normal person. The history, the World History Channel, wow, the History Channel one makes you go like, oh my god, this is what it's like to drive around with my dad. Like, just to go to different historical museums and look at it and spend our time there, it's so weird. And then every once in a while, Jack would set up a surprise for Ozzy, like a choir singing one of his songs or one of his recordings being put into an archive for, like, forever and ever type archive, and just the emotional connection that Ozzy would have or the reflection he would have with Randy Rhoads or someone like that. All kind of hit home where it's the humanity, and I think that's what gets through. When we're listening to the songs, we're listening to his humanity come through. Where you're listening to some groups, and God, I love AC/DC. It's 1,000% jam with both singers, right? Well, 3 if you count Axl Rose. I love him with Brian Johnson, and I absolutely adored what the older stuff, and I'm drawing a blank right now. But most of her songs are about women, cars. She was a fast machine ship, stuff like that. It's hard in rock and roll.
AC/DC, for example, I know a little bit more about the main singer because he's really good with car. He's actually an excellent driver. He's a
No, Brian
sportsman.
Johnson is, yeah.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Well respected in Australia. I watch a lot of show about him. It's completely normal, but you're right. Ozzy right with his art. Talking
Yeah,
about the show, there is many moments when he recall his childhood and where he came from, etc. And there is some personal story he share and you're like, oh, the guy is not just a drug addict. There is
right.
also behind a man with a heart.
Yeah, I mean, the Bon Scott years for AC/DC were more poetic than the Brian Johnson years, I believe, except for maybe the Black album or Back in Black. But you see that with Ozzy throughout. You see Goodbye to Romance. You're listening. I was listening to Goodbye to Romance the other day, and it was one of his first songs he did solo. And it was, if you listen to it, it sounds like it's about a breakup of a girl, but it's a breakup of Black Sabbath. It is about the Black Sabbath
Interesting.
breakup, and it's just so many we work so many levels lyrically. And he's had excellent he's written songs with Lemmy, Hellraiser, and about being on the road, and we all can kind of, not that we're all rock stars who know what it's like to tour on the road, but we all know where we've been in a job, especially if you're blue collar, that you've been in a job for so long, your body just can't take it no more. And it's like the doctors say we should all, maybe maybe I'm speaking to myself for myself, and my job's not been blue collar for like decades or so. And the doctor's like, you should probably take it easy, you know. And you try, but you say you're gonna quit, and you're a liar in the end, and you always come back. So you have all these things that go lyrically, where it's just very human condition. I love Highway to Hell. I've never drove on that highway, that road in Australia. It's about driving.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do
The
it.
Highway to Hell, you're going
Yeah,
that one?
the long highway around Australia, I want to do it. I spoke to my husband, who is Australian, and I say, I want to go to the outback. And him like, over my dead body. You're not going to the outback. Like,
Like,
yeah, sure, maybe a
the
part of the outback because
steakhouse?
it's too
The Outback
dangerous.
Steakhouse? I can
It's
take you to one of
too
those down the street.
oh, you bad. You bad. No, no, it's too dangerous. It's really too dangerous. But on the side of the coast, there is the
Wallabies.
ocean. It's doable. It's rock and roll, but it's doable.
Yeah. Well, that'd be kinda cool. Yeah, so, like, if you're not experiencing these things, and the Highway to Hell is actually a windy road that was really fast, no brakes, but you're like, "Okay, I get it. She Shook Me All Night Long, Who Made Who?" These are all great songs, but Road to Nowhere, we've been on the road to nowhere. It changes, it stuff like that, and this, if you've ever taken a drink that maybe you ended up a little bit blacked out, Suicide Solution. Like, these are tons that can go on and on and on and on and on. I will show a video and people are like, what were you like growing up? I will show to this day, like, it was weird. I was watching this a couple days ago. The ordinary, excuse me, not the ordinary man one. The Under the Graveyard video of Jack Kilmer playing a young Ozzy. That, if you ever want to know what I was like in Vegas, that video. Press play, walk away. And that's exactly how it was like in Vegas. And people like, wow, that's weird, but you can connect with that. You can connect with that, and you connect with someone going back. So yeah, I think that's one of part of his music is enduring, because it is endearing. It connects to something with us, and maybe that's what you saw. You don't have the background of his in music. You don't have the connection with music, but you saw that with his TV shows. You saw the
Yes.
endearing part, the human part come out.
It was a lovely surprise because I thought, it was at the same time like the Kardashian, and I'm like, oh, again, a rich family who used to be famous, and now the mother
Kardashians.
wants to be famous,
Yeah.
so she wants a piece of the pie. Not at all. They were fantastic. That's a nice
Yeah.
surprise. The teenager boy is a little bit chubby. The daughter, I went to high school with that kind of woman who is very stressed with a lot of medication, and she's not fine, and she screams all the time, and this kind of thing. Or I wish my parents were more like him because he never beats the shit out of his kids. He just like, whoa, 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 what's going on? Why are you yelling out? Stop yelling. I cannot think.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Speak. What's going on? Oh, well, she did this and she did that. Okay. First of all, did you call her? Yes. Da, 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 da. So what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Oh, can you go and see her? Okay, I'm going to go and see her. So calm down, go to the kitchen, have a burrito. I'm going up. And he goes up. "Doo, doo, 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 doo." And sometimes she yell at him. She's really upset and stuff, but he never hurt his kid. He never, push them. Or when there is this famous scene when they confront their parents on
Yeah.
the TV room about the bat, they're like, we understand, we're trying our best and everything. They listen. They sit and they listen. They never like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm the biggest adult. Silence, you're just a kid. No, it's like, what's going on? What's your problem? Okay, okay. And it's really funny to see how messy the house is because they're just a normal family who just have a lot of money. I have the
Yeah.
impression that's what the guy like burritos, the guy like his dogs, the guy have a conversation with his wife, he love his wife and stuff, and it's not over sexualized. It's
No.
you can see they love each other, like
Yeah.
they're real old, they have kids
That's
together,
exactly
they travel, and you
it's
can see
it's
the
cute.
backstage also, the backstage of some concert, what's going on. So you see he's got an assistant and stuff, he work with other people, try to find a solution and stuff. I like my favorite scene is the credit card. Have you ever heard about the credit
Oh,
card?
no, this one.
So apparently, it's so human. It's like Ozzy is like, "Where is the credit card, Sharon?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't have the credit card. I gave the credit card to our daughter." And you can see the daughter running. It's like the credit card. Fuck the credit card. And she's like running in the back of the car, grabbing all the things, trying to empty her purse, looking for the credit card. I'm in charge of the credit card. I do not know where's the credit card. And that was not planned. You can see on her face, she's looking around. There's a
Panic.
light following her. She's running around. She's wearing clothes like a teenager. And I found myself in that situation where it's like, where is the key? What key? Amelie, I gave you the key. Oh, shoot, the key. And you run around and you try to find the key. So
Yeah.
it's really funny to see them having this situation in a big mansion, in America, and this big rock star who has this ordinary problem. I really like it. I
No,
really like it.
that's I'm glad you mentioned that because when you look at those episodes, you're thinking his kids must be messed up. His kids must be they're not. They're some of the most well-adjusted if you look at it, the later ones, especially when they go in the History Channel, nice. They just seem like a happy family that can talk things out when they need to. Yeah, they can yell at each other, but there's still that love there. Like we were saying, there's still that romantic connection between him and Sharon. There's that lifelong that you just know type thing. And some families on TV won't say their names, Kardashians. They seem fake as you know,
Bless you.
thank
Bless
you.
you.
I know. But they just seem like fake and plastic as their personas are. And it's like the opposite with the Osbournes. And that's the funnest thing. If you see Bruce Jenner back in the day, it was Bruce Jenner. Now it's Caitlyn. He was an all-American guy. He was the Wheaties box. He was the super stud. And then his family life was a nightmare, like a toxic waste nightmare. And maybe if Kim ever passes her bar test, you can sue me. But sorry. And then you see the guy who is supposed to be the Prince of Darkness, and his family life is beautiful, not perfect. But like you were saying, like, boy, I wish that was my dad. Not because they're rich, because he's not beating the crap out of me right now.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
Like, holy crap, people listen? Really? This family?
When you listen to the daughter and son in podcast, they
Yeah.
tell you the backstory, what happened. And they're like, for example, they met so many rock stars, they don't care. And there is one encounter, eligibility, as you said. They visit. Who did they visit? The house of Pom Pom Pom, the wife, the widow of Kurt Cobain. And
Okay. Courtney
apparently,
Love.
she kept his shirt, the one he committed suicide with, and some hair. And so during a podcast, like, did you see the shirt? Did you see the shirt? So could you imagine being born and raised in a family where you can have access to all this rock star
Yeah.
like Marilyn Manson and stuff and stuff and stuff? You're like, oh my god, you can like. And when you listen to them, they're like, oh, they're just neighbor.
Yeah. They're just normal kids.
Like the home for the show, they both this is their house. It was from the president of Congo.
Wow.
His name was Bongo, apparemment. Bongo from for the Congo.
No idea. I'll take the word for
So,
it.
Apparently, yeah. So I watched this podcast, where they're from time to time interviewed, and how did you think about this and that and what happened, etc. Was it true? Was it planned, etc. No, no, it was not planned. They're really like that. They're really, really normal. Really, it's really interesting. Really
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, that's a fun part. Like, what most people would cut out of their true series type thing, that's the only thing we kind of see because there's nothing else. You see, and he did make when he was making No More Tears, he did the No More Tours album, and he kind of does some back behind the scene things when he retires the first time back then, like in the 90s. And you see just the showmanship of it. And I probably complained about this a couple of weeks ago. I forgot what concert I was at. And they're like, "Get up, jump up, do that." I'm like, "Man, it's not gym class, dude. Shut the up." Like, if I want to go to gym class, I would have gone to Orange Theory Fitness. Like, and this is a concert where you tell me to do jumping jacks now? What the hell, dude? I'm not for that. I'm not a conformist that way. Like everyone's like, stand up. Like, no, we're good. Like if I want to do something, I'll do it. But Ozzy, 1,000%, every time he jumps, you jump. If he's like, put your hands in the air, you put your hands in the air. It's Simon Says with Ozzy Osbourne, and you forget that you're a grown man and being basically ordered as a gym instructor, like Ozzy is a gym instructor, ordering people to jump up and down and wave their hands and pump their fists because he's doing it with you versus like the Kanye, everyone stand up. And then Kanye actually shames a dude who was in a wheelchair because he couldn't stand up at the concert. I'm like, that's a douchebag thing to do.
No,
Yeah, Kanye was being
no.
Kanye that day.
Oh la la la
Yeah.
la.
So I'm like, no, dude, you like, no, we're good. We're good. Like Ozzy is the perfect showman for this. And he's Ozzy Osbourne is the reason why I know Kareem and Barana is through Ozzy Osbourne. He used to start that his concerts out with that song. Great, the song of Blood. That's a great song. I'm like, I need to learn this now. I need to listen to classical. Ozzy's a gateway to classical music. How weird's that? If you're actually into his music,
He's a
he would start his
musician.
concerts that.
He is a musician. That's the thing. He is a musician. He's an artist.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between him and somebody starting with the letter K? He was famous. He's known. He's renowned. He's famous. He's respected as a songwriter, as a person, as an artist, as a, let's say, comedian in some way, right?
Yeah.
And
It's pretty funny.
the difference
Was.
with Kay, who is just, look at my life, I'm rich, and then became famous, And that's interesting to see these two entity, two family, one who was very humble and climbs the ladder and still the same, and one who is super rich, born rich, and will be rich forever.
Yeah, no, it's weird because you're right. I mean, that one that starts with a K also married someone who starts with a K as well. And like we're talking about toxicity of that family. It just, yeah, there you go. That's kind of that fits. It fits, man. When you release a sex tape to get yourself famous, who knew? But when you're going back to allegedly, can't get me. It's my opinion. Deuces. Deuces go this way. I'm doing this way today. Yeah. So you're going back to Ozzy, and I remember when I was late teens, I saw Alice Cooper in concert. And I thought, holy crap, this is what I want to do. I want to be on stage. I want to hold the theatrics of it. It's amazing. Alice Cooper is a character that is played, right? When I saw Ozzy, I was like, it was really just the energy in the crowd is one big family. I didn't know people from the left or the right, but everyone's your best friend at the Ozzy Osbourne concerts. Like there are no enemies. No one's it doesn't matter what side of the street you came from, what your income bracket was, you're there for one reason. And then he starts doing things like Ozfest and introducing tons of bands that we would not have been able to hear, including some that I discovered through Ozfest. I discovered Drain TH. Yeah. Through Ozfest. I discover Typo Negative through Ozfest. I sat through Marilyn Manson, who sucked hardcore as the penultimate act for Ozfest right before Ozzy got on there. I sat through that crap. I suffered through that. This was when Manson was kind of like phoning it in at this point. He's like, "Oh, I'm shocking. Oh, look, I got the boob suit. Oh, I'm the Antichrist," or something
It
like
was
that.
bad.
It was horrific. It was so boring. It was just boring.
Really?
And when I heard "Beautiful People" on the radio, I was in a gym. I was like, "Oh my god, it's not Eurythmics. Is this the end of the world?" Like, I was like, "Am I having a stroke?" Like, no, it's a different, cover.
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh my god, Marilyn Manson, this is brilliant."
Hmm.
And then his next common album, like, whatever, his last album was the Chaos one was pretty decent.
Hmm.
But he became more of a persona than an artist at some point, and that's what it was. He was phoning
That's
it in.
good. That's good you pointed out because in my generation, Marilyn Manson was this creature, this character. He wanted to
Yeah,
be called Mr. Manson and stuff. So for my generation, he's a rock star. He's persona, a character, and we were raised into the beginning of reality TV. Sorry,
right.
with Ozzy Osbourne, Kardashian, and other stars who try out but didn't work, didn't catch on right. And the last album, I think the last two albums of Marilyn Manson are really interesting because when you listen to it, it's more rock and roll. There's
Yeah,
lyrics. He's still
it's
Marilyn Manson with makeup, but it's
matured.
not just Marilyn Manson the character, like David Bowie. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. A lot of people criticized his concert in France because there's a difference between you see a rock star in America who tour in America, right, and a rock star who come to Europe because they come to Paris, Bordeaux, then Berlin, something else. So people are like, yeah, he's coming, and they expect a good show. So yeah, I'm not surprised of your point of view. I get it.
Yeah, it was just boring. I mean, like I said, this is someone who loved his first album, really dug the last album. One of his songs is still on my favorite playlist. It was just that show, and maybe because we were there for all day for Ozfest, and it was the last act to go on before Ozzy, you're like, "Come on, man, let's just get to Ozzy." Like, no one cared. Like, we just want and once Ozzy came on, the whole life came up again. Everything just blew up again. So you have and maybe, also everyone has a bad day. Maybe Madison just had a bad day. It happens. I got them. I got bad days. Heck, you know. But the Ozfest thing, it was just giving back to a lot of artists who are starting out. He was bringing people up. He would always take new bands out on tour or bands who are almost established and getting their way up. It was like very generous that way. It's like John Stewart does this for comedians a bit where he'll develop a lot of talent. Like that's what Ozzy was kind of doing the mentorship of how to do this. At the same time, a lot of those bands, like the whole Motley Crue thing, like they have stories about him snorting ants because he was insane. It was clinically just you can't top it. And then he's also the father who kind of doddles on people. So you have that, and one of the biggest things I learned from Ozzy was to be genuine. You can be this insane act on stage, but he always ended, and I still remember this in my head. He was talking to Jack. Jack's a little like 8 or 9 years old, something like that. Jack was on stage for No More Tears, and Ozzy was explaining how you end the show because there's no crowd yet. They're just doing like sound checks or setting up the stage or whatever. And so you put your hand in your heart here, you take a bow, you put your hand in out here, you bow, hand on your heart, and say, "Good night, I love you all." And he said that every show, "I love you all." And it wasn't a throwaway. You can feel that he was touched that everyone showed up for him. And that was a two-way street with him. Like, "I love you," "Good night, I love you all." And throughout his concerts. You ever go to his concerts? You can take a shot for every time he says "I love you," and you might get drunk. You might get drunk through mid-set. And it's genuine. It's not like a tick, like a peace and love. No, it's none of that. It's actually genuine, heartfelt. It always felt that way. It was always emotionally felt, and that's why like people would go to his last concert. I tried to get tickets, I couldn't. I was line number 1.5 million in line.
Oh, ho,
Yeah,
ho, 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 ho.
I had to get like a calculator out because Ticketmaster doesn't put commas. They just
Mhm,
give you like a straight line. I'm like, okay, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4 million. Oh, I ain't getting tickets.
mhm.
Like, by the time, by the time I was in queue for like a half hour, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, 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 everyone's like emptying queue. I'm like, oh, they're sold out. Yeah, they sold out. Like even the bad seats sold out. I'm like, damn it. Oh well. But I watched a concert. I watched it before. It was an amazing event just to see him out there. So you have all of this. You have all of this, and that was Ozzy Osbourne. And dang it, you know Marilyn Manson, but you don't know Ozzy Osbourne? For shame, France. For shame. Or as my French friend would say, something something chien, French. France. I can't believe you knew Marilyn Manson music, but not Ozzy.
It's a person. It's because it's just a single person. If you say Black Sabbath, we all know Black Sabbath. We can give him some song and stuff. There is
That is a
even on
person.
the channel number first, number one in on TV in France. We have a song from Ozzy every Saturday night who run out. Yeah, we know. But the person, not really. It's
That's weird.
perception. It's
That's weird.
perception.
I'm gonna have to give you some music homework later on. But
Look,
it happens.
it's a world after the Second World War. We were really Americanized in Europe, with Elvis Presley, and after Elvis Presley, it's all this rock band from England, Beatles, etc. And now nowadays, it's K-pop. So yeah, why not?
Blackpink.
Why not K-pop? So maybe one day we're going
Do
there.
you want a list
Someone
of
is
why not
going.
K-pop, or are you just asking a rhetorical question?
Some maybe one day somebody is going to do a podcast about a K-pop artist who is really old and die, and the French girl will be, oh, I didn't know that person really well, but we know that person because of that movie. I didn't know he was a rock star. How many
Yeah.
times
Well,
that happened?
that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I get it.
No,
I get
no,
it.
I know who is Ozzy Osbourne. I know the Osbourne family. And from my point of view as a millennial who grew up with MTV, I know like that. I'm just telling you. It's like, for example, you have a Gen Z. Does Gen Z know Ozzy Osbourne?
Gen Z. I'm not gonna bag on. That's too easy. Sorry, Gen Z. I'm not gonna bag on you guys today. It's all peace and love today, man. Buy my book, Surviving Gen X. See where people came from. No, maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I think some do. When I play music, okay. When I play music, I'm breaking kayfabe right now. When I play music for my classes, because I play music at the beginning of my classes and during breaks because I need that energy to get me through the class. That's what I do as I write stuff on the board. And it would be surprising how many people not like won't know any of my songs. Not that. How many people really like stuff like Ozzy and Sabbath and Red Hot Chili Peppers and AC/DC and Guns. It's just Pantera. It's all these bands that people are listening to, or the whole 90s generation of stuff like Alice in Chains and Smashing Pumpkins and Chris Cornell stuff. Or how many people connect with that stuff still? Jane's Addiction, Stone Temple Pilots. You see all that still in Gen Z. They might call it oldies, but that's still their jam because it's still good music. And they're gonna have
True.
their own new music. Everyone adds on to it, which is fine. You should add on. Music should evolve. All things need to evolve. And I think Gen Z is doing a terrific balancing act. You know, we did it. Gen X did it with the Doors. We had the Doors. We had CCR. We had Zeppelin. Still, I think Zeppelin's still immortal. The Who, the Stones were there, and because the Stones just came on forever, though, you know. And honestly, Ozzy Osbourne, even for my generation, it went Black Sabbath, and then the first time I heard Ozzy Osbourne solo was in the 90s with No More Tears. My friend Mike gave me a tape to listen to, and it was like Mr. Tinkle Train and Desire and No More Tears, Mama Coming Home, all these songs. I was like, wow, what's this? You know? So yeah, we kind of get that later on in life, you know, so maybe it skipped millennial.
It's completely normal. Like, for example, Johnny Cash. You know Johnny
Sure. Car
Cash?
to cash.
Johnny Cash, right? Johnny Cash, you need to be really, really, really into music in France to know who is Johnny Cash.
Even with the American albums like Hurt, the remake of
You need
Hurt.
to, as a millennial, yes, as a millennial, yes, you need to, right? A lot of people
Interesting.
who are a boy fan were like, oh, Johnny Cash, you know, this is a story, da 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 da. I'm like, oh, interesting, okay, cool. Because of video game and because of TikTok, he has a popularity with the Gen Z because the
What game?
song Hurt
Yeah.
is taken for a lot of trailer for a lot of video
Mm.
games.
Oh,
But
really?
Hurt
Yeah.
is really beautiful, and
The Nine Inch
this
Nails remake.
a lot. Like, for example, I was surprised. I listened to Johnny Cash in 2010s, so I was 20 something.
Okay.
I was surprised a lot of Johnny Cash songs were taken or revisited by what's the name of the group?
Kanye West.
No,
The Cash West production.
shoo 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 shoo. Enjoy the
Shoo, shoo,
silence.
shoo, shoo.
Attends, you are
Enjoy the sign. Duran
personal,
Duran.
personal, Jesus.
Yeah.
Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun,
Depeche Mode.
dun, 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 dun. Merci, thank you. Depeche Mode. Depeche
It's
Mode
either going to
took
be
a
Duran Duran or
lot
Depeche
of
Mode.
songs. No, Depeche Mode
Well, no. Okay.
took a lot. So if you
Cash
ask
did a
me,
Depeche Mode song, Personal Jesus.
yeah,
That's a remake by Cash. That's not Depeche Mode remaking a Cash song.
it's Johnny Cash who took the song from Depeche Mode.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you really for real?
For real, dude. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Nine Inch Nails did Hurt. Johnny
Mm-hmm,
Cash does Hurt. Cover
mm-hmm,
band.
mm-hmm,
Covered it. This is during his American 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think 5 albums. It might be 5. Maybe even more. And then he did Personal Jesus,
mm-hmm.
which was a covered Depeche Mode song. He covered U2 as well. He
Oh,
covered shit. I think who did Rusty Cage? Was that Soundgarden? Rusty Cage? No, I
because
can't remember.
a lot of his song, this song he take from different group and
Yeah,
song and everything, they're used nowadays on YouTube a lot for video
because his
games by Gen Z and stuff because
version's
it's
better.
really dark. Yes, because the man and sometimes there is some song where he speak and they listen and his voice and his
Right.
presence, his charisma
Okay,
and
but
the
that's
person.
of course like, that's Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
But with Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Uh-huh.
We are taking someone. I can't remember if Ozzy did cover songs. He might have done one or two.
He's more on TV. He did a lot of commercial. He's really funny, and there is an American commercial for candy. It's like, "Hey kids, you like that candy? Listen to Grandpa. Do not snow it." It's like, but we're not planning on snowing it, and be very careful with what you do. Don't drink and don't do drugs. Do candy. It's like, but we're just in a skate park. That's all. Like, it's really funny because he played with his persona of guy who was totally crazy, talking to the new generation who is really nice, you know. So yeah, he's known, but not as a rock star. He's more known like he used to be. He is a rock star. He's a singer, but he's really funny. He's really cool, like the dad, grandpa kind of thing. It's really interesting.
Well, which is weird because he had to grow into that. I mean, for me, for
Hmm.
me, I. It's funny you bring up the drug and alcohol thing. I don't get
Hmm.
hangovers because the first time I went drinking,
Hmm.
like really professional level drinking, it must have been, God, we'll say 15, 16, whatever it was. And I fell asleep listening to Ozzy Osbourne. I think at that time it was like Black Sabbath album. And I didn't get a hangover when I woke up. Because in the first time, like, oh, watch out for the hangovers, they're really tough there. And I'm like, what's a hangover? I was like really, really, really trashed. And press play on my boombox before I pass out. And when I woke up, it was Ozzy on just a tape, I think. And when I woke up, yeah, no hangover whatsoever. No ill effects of alcohol. Or it also could just be because how my body processes and metabolizes alcohol as a poison, and it's probably a bad thing, honestly, not having the after effect. Well, think about this: why do people stop drinking? Hangovers.
Yeah,
So if you
headache,
don't get the
hangovers,
hangovers,
looking around, standing up, and the room just turn, and you're
yeah,
like, I will never, ever, ever get completely
right.
drunk, never. And you
And
always
if you don't get
like,
those, how far do you drink then? If there's no
ah,
if there's no sort of Damocles hanging over your head of a
hmm.
hangover, how far do you push the envelope?
So you
There's no
didn't have
fear of the repercussion of
no
tomorrow.
migraine, no
Nothing.
feeling.
However, I do remember drinking so much. Okay, this was Vegas, so I must have been late teens, everything late teens. This is Vegas, so it must have been late teens, early 20s. And warning kids, if you're listening in other locations, your mileage may vary on this one, okay? I was dating a stripper. I would say exotic dancer was a stripper. And this was like our first date. I picked her up somewhere. And in Vegas, it's not like, ooh, I'm dating a stripper. It's kind of like saying you're dating the pizza delivery person. It's a fucking job. Sorry, it's a job, right? It's just a job. And I was like, and she was, I have vague memories that it kind of hurts my head to remember how really trash I was. This big, blonde, whatever. And cool person, by the way. I don't talk to her anymore, obviously, but still. And I remember being so gone because I never knew when to stop. Because the next day was always nothing happened. I got alcohol poisoning. And so we're talking about vomiting, fever,
Ooh.
thankfully not having my stomach pumped, but I was in bad, bad shape. And all I can think of was like, she's in my bed. I'm on the porcelain, I'm praying into my toilet bowl right now. I'm like, never again. This is must be a hangover, it feels like, but I got it because I just kept drinking, dummy. And then I started to learn how to modulate I kind of always knew when my face starts going numb, I stop drinking. That's my cue because otherwise I don't really have a cue for that. And it can keep going the next time and just like one day your heart will stop. So yeah, if you don't get hangovers, there's no pain punishment thing. There's no like, oh my god, I'm gonna get punished later on for this. So you just keep going.
It's true. And you have always a pride of, oh, look at me, I can drink that many beer.
I never had
And
that
I can
pride. I didn't really
hold
care.
it and stuff like that. Oh, enough for Francis. See, I'm a
No.
woman. I can drink beer. I can hold the beer, the
Sorry.
alcohol. I'm not drunk. I'm fine. I can drive. I can walk, have a conversation because it's dirty to get fucked up drunk in France. Like compared to the American, we have this education very young, very, very young to drink. Drink is to have a conversation, is to well behave. It's a social thing. You drink wine with your red meat, you drink beer, but you can have party and what we call aperitif and drink, drink, drink.
Drinking
Yes,
games.
drink, 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 drink. But I remember what stopped me is I had the education, I was to a bar, I was drinking with other people. So young people drink with older people, like you can have be 18 years old and the eldest 50 years old, it's fine. We all talk to each other, men and women, everything is fine. We drink and stuff. And I did shots at
Okay.
18 years old it's Slovenia, and for the first time I do shots, and I'm like, oh, I can do shots. I'm from north of France. We drink beer. Shots and beer are not the same, right?
Well, yeah,
Especially when the
no.
shots are from Serbia and it's homemade. I do not remember the end of the night. I remember feeling really tired, and it was Monday night, and I woke up on Thursday thinking it was Wednesday. I was sick all Tuesday. I didn't stop. I would stand up and go to the loo. It was catastrophic.
Really?
And I remember asking my classmate Flora and said, "Oh, I'm going to be late at work." No, 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 no. You were sick. You stay and you sleep. Yeah, but it's Wednesday. No, Emily, it's Thursday. And I'm like, oh
I'm
la
really gonna be
la
late.
la. La 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 la. No, 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 no. I did a Peter O'Toole. Like Peter O'Toole said, what time is it? No, no. What day it is? It's the
Yeah.
best
Well,
question.
that's true, and that's the thing, that's where kind of living in the North Woods, growing up Gen X, we started with whiskey and we switched to beer because beer tastes like crap in America. You had to get drunk first to enjoy it. And so you were like, "Oh, I can do this stuff." No, you can't. Now, here's the other thing for Ozzy, right? We like the whole not having a hangover thing. I still attribute to Ozzy. Maybe it's just his magic. But there are certain moments in my life that will forever be tied. And I won't talk too much about them. That will forever be tied with Ozzy Osbourne for me, like forever and ever to be tied. I might tell you off camera. There you go. I'll tell you this story off camera. I'm not telling you that on camera because it's not polite to say. But all I know is for all the years and all the things, the one thing that's always been there for me was Ozzy Osbourne's music. And it's still there. It's still there, but it's this weird world when Ozzy's not. It's like we always joke to be the cockroaches and Ozzy Osbourne, the last people on this planet. Well, cockroaches, you better start hugging those buttholes because you're next. That's all we know. So, wow, we talked for like almost an hour on this. Nice. So next week, okay. Did you watch Awesomeness Maximus yet? Because I watched Showgirls, and part of me died watching it. So, did you watch your assignment of Awesomeness Maximus?
Not yet. I make some research, of course. I check some trailer and what people think about the movie, etc. I
Yeah,
really look forward to watch it.
good.
I really like movies who are laughing at other movie because
Yeah,
it's a wall art.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then like next week, we'll start doing that. We'll maybe start doing this. We'll go. Of course, we still got Barry season 2 coming out. We got some new movies. Fantastic Four is out Friday. Fantastic Four is out today, I think. So I think, or maybe next Friday. I'm not sure. So we'll talk about Fantastic Four. Thanks for all your love for the Superman movie. That was brilliant. Thanks for all the Barry stuff. You guys been supporting that, and my interviews with JD Barker, like even the small trailer bits. So I want to say thanks for all your support. Honestly, it does mean a lot. And if you can, just click. I know if you stayed with us for 53 minutes, like and subscribe. It does help, guys. It does help. So, on behalf of myself, Joe, and my co-host Amelie, I bid you let the madness begin. Bye, everyone. Deuces.
Bye.
I hear a cat.